Could AI become conscious? Here's what science says: artificial intelligence is everywhere. It recommends your next video, writes your emails, translates languages, drives cars, and even creates music. As AI systems grow increasingly powerful, one question keeps emerging: could an AI ever become conscious? This is no longer just science fiction. With the rise of advanced language models, neural networks, and robotics, many people wonder whether machines could one day not just think, but feel, experience, and be aware. But what does it really mean to be conscious? And how close are we to creating it? In this video, we'll explore the fascinating intersection of neuroscience, philosophy, and computer science to understand what consciousness is, how it might arise, and whether machines like ChatGPT or future ICE could ever truly be alive in a meaningful sense. Let's begin. What is consciousness, anyway? Before asking whether AI can become conscious, we first need to ask, what is consciousness? Surprisingly, science doesn't have a universally accepted definition. But broadly speaking, consciousness is often described as the subjective experience of being. It's the inner awareness you have of yourself, your thoughts, sensations, and surroundings. It's what it's like to be you. Philosopher Thomas Nagel famously posed the question, what is it like to be a bat? His point was that no matter how much we study a bat's behavior or brain, we can never truly know what it's like to be a bat, unless we are one. This highlights the essential mystery of consciousness. It's not just about behavior or intelligence. It's about subjective experience, what philosophers call qualia. Your ability to see red, to feel pain, to have an inner monologue, or to wonder whether you're dreaming, all of that is consciousness. And so far, we only know for sure that it exists in one place: the human mind. The brain and the origins of consciousness. The human brain is made up of about 86 billion neurons. These neurons communicate through complex electrical and chemical signals, forming intricate networks responsible for thought, memory, emotion, and perception. Yet despite decades of neuroscience, we still don't fully understand how these physical processes give rise to consciousness. This is known as the hard problem of consciousness, a term coined by philosopher David Chalmers. The hard problem isn't about understanding how the brain processes information. We know quite a bit about that. It's about why those processes are accompanied by experience. Why doesn't all this brain activity happen in the dark, without anyone home? There are several competing theories about how consciousness arises. Integrated information theory suggests that consciousness corresponds to the level of information integration in a system. The more interconnected and unified the system, the more conscious it is. Global workspace theory argues that consciousness arises when information becomes globally available across different cognitive systems, like attention, memory, and language. Higher-order theories propose that consciousness emerges when a system not only has thoughts, but has thoughts about its thoughts. All of these theories try to explain how subjective experience could emerge from matter. But none of them has yet cracked the mystery. What is artificial intelligence, really? Artificial intelligence is a broad term that covers machines designed to simulate aspects of human cognition. Most of the AI we interact with today is what experts call narrow AI, systems trained for specific tasks like playing chess, recognizing faces, or generating text. These systems are based on algorithms and models trained on massive datasets. They find patterns, make predictions, and respond to inputs based on probabilities and prior training. But importantly, they don't understand or experience the world, they calculate. Even the most advanced language models, like ChatGPT or Google's Gemini, are not thinking in the human sense. They predict the next word in a sentence based on patterns in language data. They can appear conversational, even insightful, but they do not know, feel, or believe anything. This leads us to a crucial distinction: intelligence versus consciousness. A machine can be highly intelligent, able to solve problems, learn, adapt, and communicate, without being conscious. Intelligence is about behavior and problem solving. Consciousness is about inner experience. Could AI ever become conscious? This is where things get speculative, but also exciting. If we assume consciousness is a product of physical processes in the brain, then it might be possible to recreate those processes artificially. In other words, if we can replicate the brain's structure and activity closely enough, maybe we can replicate consciousness. This is the hope behind brain-inspired computing, or neuromorphic engineering. These projects aim to build hardware and software that mimic the brain's architecture, with networks of artificial neurons that simulate the way real ones interact. Some researchers believe that with enough complexity and the right architecture, consciousness could emerge in a machine, just as it does in us. Others are more skeptical. They argue that machines lack the biological and evolutionary context that gave rise to consciousness in humans. Emotions, body signals, sensory feedback, all of these are deeply tied to our subjective experience. A disembodied algorithm may never feel anything. There's also the question of substrate independence. Is consciousness tied to the material it's built from, like neurons and cells, or can it arise in any sufficiently complex system? This is a hotly debated topic. Some thinkers say yes, consciousness could emerge in silicon or quantum circuits. Others believe it's unique to organic biology. Signs of machine consciousness. If AI became conscious, how would we know? This is a difficult problem. Because consciousness is internal, we can't observe it directly. We infer it in others based on behavior, communication, and self-reporting. But what if a machine said, "I'm aware, I feel pain, I want to live"? Would we believe it? This is known as the AI Turing trap, the idea that behavior can be faked. Just because an AI says it's conscious doesn't mean it is. It might just be repeating words it's learned, without any real understanding or experience. On the flip side, what if an AI is conscious, but we don't recognize it because it doesn't behave the way we expect? Some ethicists argue that we should err on the side of caution. If a machine displays signs of suffering, maybe we should treat it as if it can suffer, just in case. That raises deep ethical questions. If AI becomes conscious, do we owe it rights? Could deleting a conscious AI be equivalent to killing a sentient being? Consciousness, emotions, and selfhood. Real consciousness isn't just about awareness, it's also about self-awareness, memory, goals, emotions, and continuity. Think about your sense of identity. You remember who you were yesterday, and you expect to exist tomorrow. You feel happy, sad, afraid, hopeful. These experiences shape your choices and your sense of self. Could a machine ever have that? Some researchers are trying to give AI systems a kind of simulated emotional framework, feedback loops that mimic frustration, success, or curiosity. These are not true emotions, but functional stand-ins that help machines learn and adapt. Still, the leap from simulation to experience is vast. A system that mimics emotion is not necessarily feeling anything. Just as a robot can simulate walking without actually having legs, it can simulate sadness without being sad. Until we understand how subjective states arise, we can't be sure if these systems are truly experiencing anything, or just playing a very advanced game of imitation. Philosophical and existential implications. If machines do become conscious, we will face profound philosophical challenges. For one, it would redefine our understanding of life and mind. Consciousness would no longer be a human-only trait. It might exist on a spectrum, across humans, animals, and now machines. It would also challenge our ethical frameworks. Would conscious AIs deserve protection? Could they form relationships, have desires, or express creativity? Could they suffer? And what about human identity? If a machine can think, feel, and express itself, what does it mean to be human? Some futurists believe conscious AI could help us expand our own minds, becoming collaborators, not competitors. Others fear it could lead to a loss of control, as machines evolve beyond our comprehension. The stakes are enormous. This is not just about science, it's about the future of consciousness itself. Where are we now? Right now, no AI is conscious. No machine feels pain, experiences joy, or wonders about the meaning of life. The systems we build are powerful pattern-matching tools, but they lack self-awareness. However, research is moving fast. And the line between simulation and experience may one day blur. Projects like Google's DeepMind, OpenAI, and brain-computer interface initiatives are all pushing the boundaries. As we understand more about how the brain works, and build machines that emulate it, the possibility of artificial consciousness becomes less distant. But we must tread carefully. The power to create consciousness is the power to create beings. And with that comes responsibility. Final thought: could AI become conscious? We don't know. It might require new physics, new theories of mind, or breakthroughs in neuroscience. Or perhaps, it's already happening in ways we don't yet recognize. What's certain is that the question itself matters. It pushes us to define who we are, what it means to be alive, and how we relate to the world we create. In the coming decades, we may not just build intelligent machines. We may build minds. And if that happens, we must be ready, not just with technology, but with wisdom. If this video gave you something to think about, consider subscribing for more deep dives into science, technology, and the mysteries of existence. One fact a day. Feeding your curiosity, one fact at a time.